and welcome to Pursue the Pull, the podcast that is geared towards helping people who are looking for a career change and for those who want to work for themselves or start their own business. So how do we differ from all of the other inspirational podcasts out there? Well, what we do is we interview people from a range of industries. So if you want to set up your own marketing agency or your own yoga studio, whatever it might be, we have someone specific from that industry to tell you the highs and lows, how to get started, and most importantly, the truth. Now, we are one group, one community, and we have all of the answers. I am your host, Stacey Bevan, and today I have an amazing guest. I am joined with Mark, who is the founder of real estate agency Let by Mark. So first of all, thank you for joining us. We really appreciate the insight that you're about to give us.
Thank you, Stacey, for having me.
No problem. So before we jump into the questions that have been devised by our audience, I just want to give the audience a bit of background into what it is that you do. So you were born in Hungary and you are an entrepreneur and a real estate professional. You started your career at the age of 19 as a sales representative for an insurance company. And within a year, you became a top seller and led a team of sales agents. You then started your entrepreneurship career at the age of 20. And in 2011, you decided to travel to Malta to learn English. After a short time, you decided to start a new career in real estate, and now 10 years on and 10 years worth of experience, and you also have that deep understanding of the industry. Now, Let by Mark itself as a company was born and has been trading since 2017, so around 6 years. This is where you specialise in assisting clients in all aspects of real estate, from renting to buying or selling of all types of properties, whether that be residential or commercial in nature. Now, you were founded by great creative minds and with many years of experience behind the company, which is also backed by others in legal and financial services. Now, you've had some major achievements. So you received an award for the Best Letting Agency of Malta in 2021. Best Luxury Boutique Real Estate Agency of Malta in 2022, Best Quality Customer Focused Real Estate Agency in 2023, Best Real Estate CEO of 2023, and you also features as an oncoming entrepreneur abroad on the RTL Club, which is a national TV of Hungary. Now, your future plans are to continue to revolutionise the real estate agents, and you also aim to help more people who are seeking to find their new career in real estate, whether they are newcomers or experienced in the business. Now, there's a lot to go through, so I just want to go into the first question, if that's okay with you.
Thank you for the introduction. Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so what I'd like to ask is, what is your background? How did you decide that you were going to go into being an entrepreneur? You know, you said that you worked before and then you went into this. Like, how did all of this kind of come about? What is the background?
Being an entrepreneur, it was a dream from my childhood. I remember when I was like maybe 8-10 years old, my father had a business. And that was something as a little child, seeing my father going for business meetings, doing business, having his own company. It was an inspiration for me, like as a child, what do I want to have? What do I want to become? Because the teachers, they were asking, so what do you have plans for your future? Somebody wanted to be a firefighter, policeman. So I had that idea at the early age. And I always look for something where I can have. I didn't know what entrepreneurship is at the time, right? I just saw only the success, maybe it's contracts, signing contracts, having deals. So then I started at the early age of 19 in the sales to be a financial. I joined the company to be a financial advisor on insurance, on home loans, investments. So I learned a lot on how to sell, right? Because that's actually in life, everything is starting with sales. So to have a sales skills at a very early age, that gave me a lot of confidence later on as well, how to move on to the next steps. So real estate obviously came at the time when I was in Malta. I didn't speak English when I came to Malta, so let's start like that. I didn't start with any experience here. I didn't start any knowledge of the island. I was literally just a foreigner coming to Malta, experiencing. I started to work in a bar as a bartender because that was the only options I could have with my poor English. and even that wasn't enough, but I made it through somehow. And I started to get involved a little bit more to get to know people on the island and build a bit of network, friends. Malta, I mean, Malta is a very international place to live. So there's thousands of international people from all around the world, and you feel like that you meet the whole world in Malta because there's so many different nationalities. And that helped me to become even more open to the island and to see more opportunities. And working in catering helped me to go into to get to know restaurants and hotels. And from that point, I had a calling, but one day I still have to be an entrepreneur. I said, I'm really pushing myself, and I was really looking for the opportunity. I was still just 21, but I was really courageous to start something. And I had an opportunity at that time to, I heard that somebody's bringing wines from Hungary. I said, somebody bringing wines from Hungary, but I've never seen them in any shops, in any restaurants, anywhere. So I work in catering. I started to get to know restaurants, restaurant owners, hotels. So I said, maybe I should approach them and speak to them to see what is their plan. Maybe I can help them. So I made myself to be involved in their business, to start selling wines. And because I really wanted to prove myself, I was working on this project for maybe 1.5 years with them in the company. And then we started to sell restaurants and shops. Then I started to do training on wines, which I was like, I had to obviously educate myself on each wine, what there is, how it tastes, how you smell. So it was a completely new experience that I've never done before, but that was the excitement in it. So to learn something new and to give back this experience also to restaurants. So, and that was a time actually when I started to teach on wines, which actually I didn't really have much knowledge besides than what I learned at the time. And so that was the first experience, I would say, abroad that I had as going into running a little bit of sales, networking, meeting with different people. And that was a bit of motivation for me that I can do this. I'm in a new country. I still feel confident that if I do every day a bit more, I will grow eventually. So I had to exit from the company 1.5 years later. And since I saw the real estate market in Malta is something that is changing year by year, month by month, always new constructions. You look up to the sky, you see a crane always building something new. And I was questioning myself, how is this going to look in the next 10 years? I think all of us, we want to see sometimes the beautiful properties, the beautiful sea view. I mean, I think it's a passion for many of us to see nice properties, right? You just pick up a magazine and you see a beautiful luxury villa. Who doesn't want to be in there in Ibiza, Mallorca, or in Malta to experience this? And that was a bit of passion that I wanted to discover that where I can go in real estate. So I started as a non-experienced real estate agent, starting to work in an international company. The very first step. One of my friends recommended me a company, go to them. They also have a car. I had no car. I never drove on the other side. I didn't know the name of the streets. I didn't know anyone to call. So it was a struggle at the very beginning, but I had just one focus. Is to make money and to learn a new industry where I can find myself more.
Yeah.
So when I started that career in real estate, I created a picture for myself where I want to be. I was just reading 5 years is enough to become the best in what you do. I said, if 5 years is enough, in anything, in any industry, whatever you study and you start today and you put your full effort into it, 5 years is enough to become the best.
Yeah.
I said, how would I be if I'm the best? Who do I become if I'm the best here in Malta? What do I do? And I started to play with the thoughts and I started to create my little vision board to see, okay, maybe I have this car, maybe I have this life balance, maybe I have these people around me, maybe this is the feedback. So since I didn't have a vision about what the career can take me, where the career can take me, because I never worked in it, and I didn't know if it's going to work out or not, but I wanted to create a vision for myself that fits my inspiration every day to take me further and take me into it. So I started step by step, making a phone call, finding an owner, has a property available. Okay, finding a client as well. That was also, how am I going to find a client? Because I never worked in this. Nobody knows that I'm working in. So how can I do that? I call a friend. listen, I started real estate. Do you know someone looking for a home? No, I don't know. But if I know someone, I will let you know. Okay, then I call maybe somebody else. Do you know someone? Yes, I'm just looking for a property to rent right now with my friend because we just changed jobs and we want to move to a new location. I said, fantastic. I got my first client. So how am I going to find property for my first client? What do I have to do? I have a database. I can start to call. I call 1, 2, 10, 20, 30. I don't find anything. I said, okay, then I call 40, 50, 60 people. And I found one. I said, okay, one is enough. I said, maybe I can try to make some more phone calls to see at least maybe 2 or 3 if I can find. So then I made like maybe 100 phone calls in the first week just to be able to find for this client. And then I told them, listen, I think I have 3 properties for you to show. Oh, that's amazing. When are you available? It's maybe tomorrow. So then I went for a first viewing and I showed them the first one. They said, Mark, no, this is not nice. I said, okay. Second one, I really like this one very much, but it has only 1 bathroom. I said, okay. The third one, perfect. This is exactly what we were looking for. We want to take it. Yeah. And I was like, on my first client, first viewing, he wants to rent it. I said, so now what am I doing? You want to rent the place? Yes. So Mark, what do we do now? I said, I don't know yet. Wait, let me think first, because I was not expecting that you want to have the apartment today. So that happened. And then I had them through the contract and I went back to the office. We went through the transaction. And I said, okay, I did this once. I just have to repeat the same thing again. And then I did the same thing with the second clients. They recommended me someone of their friend. I did the same thing. 2 days later, I took them out. I showed them the apartments because they were looking for similar to the other one. So I showed them the one that he didn't like also. So I had 2, 3 options. And he rented the other one. I said, I have two contracts. I said, I think I can do this. So I needed to have this confirmation for myself that starting is not this was my first time starting. It's not for everyone. Sometimes for some people it takes a month, 2 months, 3 months. But I had kind of this vision and I didn't stop until 9 o'clock in the evening, until I managed to really, until owners, they tell me, listen, don't call me because it's too late already. I'm sorry, yes, you're right, but I had a client. So I was really motivated to make this happen. And that was because I had a goal, I had a dream. I wanted this car, I wanted this watch, I wanted this life. I said, there is in real starting going from catering, earning every month the same amount, or when you work and your colleague doesn't come to work, you have to do the job of your colleague as well, but you don't get the salary of your colleague. So I said, if I switch to a commission base, that's something that you're purely based on your skills and your capacity and on the investment that you put into it. So that was my motivation. I said, I have no limitation. I have no time. It's the only focus that I have is to make this happen. And I tried to avoid everything that was distracting me from the journey for taking me to the point where I really wanted to go. So the inspiration of starting, for me, was the best thing is that I created a plan without knowing where I'm going. But just to get an idea of picture it, because I'm maybe a more visual type of person, maybe that's why. But there are so many other thoughts behind it as well, and dreams and sounds and feelings that came with it, that my whole being started to focus on that. And when I wake up in the morning, I look at properties in a different way. When I'm walking, I speak to owners to a different way. The people that I meet on the street, I speak differently. So that's how I would say that started as an agent, and then building the business on this. It was just a natural flow on becoming. And the first 5 years, I was awarded worldwide as well as one of the top agents. I didn't see that on myself. I was just working. But then
was that in your plan, Mark? That was the ambition to transition and go into it on your own. Was that as part of your plan at the beginning, or did that come later on when you developed the experience?
Of course, I wanted to gain experience to be able to be confident enough in to see that which position I would be more functioning in the future. Because I wanted to grow. I wanted to gain more. It was not my final step, but it was a step that was helping me to achieve my personality. I would say to help me to gain more skills, because you need skills in real estate. You need mindset. real estate is already like being an entrepreneur, because you don't have an income every month. You have to wake up in the morning, every single morning, and say that, how am I going to do it today? What am I going to do? What is the step that I have to do? So you have to kind of self-motivate yourself, and it's not enough. Your mom is not going to call you. Your boss is not going to call you to wake up in the morning because now you have to go to work. So it has to be everything self-driven.
Okay.
And
amazing. I was just going to say, like, when you made the transition, then you already had the mindset, you already had the experience, you built all of that up, and then you made that transition, which you say was quite easy because you already were in the entrepreneurial mindset and you had everything ready, really.
Yeah, because I also added a lot of trainings on it as well, because I when I was working as a sales agent, there was a point when I felt that I'm not growing. I'm only just making a certain. I remember at the time my partner, she was making more money than me, and I was like, I said, what's happening? I said, I'm working in a profession where it's up to me how much I can earn, because I have to make that happen. But why am I not breaking through that financial? Because I was not making so much money in the beginning, but I was working, and then money was coming a bit later as well. I was making money for my living, but I was not making the money that I really desired. Mm-hmm. So, and I had a breaking point when I said, I have to change something to be able to make this better. And I maybe it's my mindset. I said to myself, to reach that goal, I have to behave. I have to be the person who can achieve that goal. Because you cannot be a car driver, a Formula 1 car driver, if you don't practice as a Formula car driver every single day, and you do the same trainings and you go the roads the same way every single day and practice. So it's by becoming. And that's why I did a lot of trainings. So I had a lot of people that inspired me, that I was watching, sales coaches, that I did trainings, many trainings in sales, in NLP. One of the highlights of the training I have done was Tony Robbins. And Tony Robbins, Unleash the Power Within. That was always my dream to be there, to take part in it. And a 4 days training when I was just walking through fire, and I was like, because they have this day one that they help your mind to set your mind up for success, and you are capable to do anything. And even actually the first day we were walking through literally the burning coal on barefoot. So it was mind blowing. It's so much energy was coming out, and they were giving you the technique of how you can create your dream life. And all of this impacted a lot my journey. And I always wanted to remind myself on how I can become better, how I can become more, how big can we dream, and how can we achieve that.
But how did you have fear through this as well? Like, did you have any fear? Because you seem really confident, but did you have and really motivated? But did you have any like fear or any self-doubt that you had to overcome as you were doing this?
I think that it's always the thought always comes, the fear of failure. And from the day one when I started the business, 2017, I said, what if it doesn't happen? What if I started the business because I left real estate and I was for 1 year. And then I had, when I started the business at the very beginning, I asked this question, what if it's not going to work out? How am I going to look at myself? What am I going to, am I going to be a failure? People are going to look at me if I failed. And then I tried to not to think about this version, but still it because it started to take me into a negative space. That there's always the negative is always there. It's easier to find negativity in our life sometimes when we are stressed out or when we have fear than to find positivity. So I always try to, okay, what is my goal? What is my vision? Where am I going? Where do I want to go? For that, I have to take this step. In stress, I learned this, and this is even until today. If I have stress or anxiety or something out of a project or deadline or something, I have to take time off, because if emotionally I feel very much involved, then I know that it takes away the energy that I have. So that time I always take some time off for myself, and I say, I need one day when I just turn my phone off, when I just go out in the nature and disconnect and reconnect to myself.
Yeah.
So that is my time that I take for myself to think through what I really, what is the fear that I have? Why do I have this fear? What can I do to make this fear go away? And then the fear goes away by doing it. And that's what I realized. Okay, I come back, I start doing it, and suddenly the fear it's vanished and transforms into action. And then I start to see a bit more.
Okay. And that's amazing. And like, talk to me about, so you've started the business. Did you need much to start the business? Was it just kind of your reputation that you needed and the experience, or was there money involved? How did you start it and then go on to get your first, your first sale, if you like? How did that happen in your own business now?
Well, I started actually with no money. Well, I would say that it's funny because when I started, how I started the business, I didn't think about actually starting a business. It was a breakfast that I had with one of my close friends, and he invited one of his friends to come and join us. And at that time, I was not doing anything. I was involved with a friend of mine that we were going to open a business, but it failed straight away in the very beginning. So I was actually devastated on what am I going to do right now, because I haven't thought of going back to real estate, going back as a real estate agent. And in this breakfast, my friend told me he's working in sales. I said, I love sales. We started to talk about sales. He told me, you know what? I really want to go and try real estate. Who would you recommend me as a company to go and start? I said, I don't know actually which company I would recommend you, because I think there's many things that can be improved. My friend in the same time told me, Mark, why don't you teach him, help him to become a real estate agent? Or why don't you open your company and then he can? And then he said, I can be your first agent. I said, wait, guys. I said, that's not a bad idea actually to start. So I give me a few days. Let me just put my mind on a paper to get a bit of mind map about how this would look like. And then we start to talk about it. So there's a lot of ideas came up in that breakfast. It was just coming from out of nowhere in the best time. So there is luck, or there is luck in life as well, right? I think. And then I called one of my friends who was renting an office close to my home. And I told him, I said, what is my plan? He told me, I have an extra room actually in my office, which I'm not using. If you want to, I give it to you for the first 3 to 4 months for free to use it. I said, I didn't even ask for it, but it's like, you're giving it to me. I said, I think this is the right way. So and then I had no money to start with. Then I said, I need to buy a computer. I have to buy, I don't know, I have to pay the water, the electricity, something, but I didn't have the cash at that time to be able to do that. So my friend told me, I give you, 5,000 euros. And then if you want, you can start, you give it to me back in 3 months' time. I said, really? So at that time, I think I felt like I was very lucky, and I was blessed to have good people around me. I was in the right time, in the right place, and everything just meant to happen that I start a new journey on this, and starting as an inspiration that I can help someone to grow, because I reached a point in my life where I felt with myself comfortable, but my next journey was to how to take somebody else to that level as well, to become. So that was my point of leadership, and that was the new inspiration that I got, that now I'm going to give back my knowledge and I want to help people to grow.
That's amazing. And how did you grow it? So obviously you got your first clients on, your first sales, and then how did you actually then grow the business? Did you start hiring more people and start training more people? Did it develop and grow in that way?
It started just very simple. Having a phone, calling some friends. Do you rent an apartment? Yes, I rent an apartment. Then we asked, listen, your landlord has maybe more properties that we can help him to rent out. And let me ask him. Yes, he has another 2. I said, okay. Then we start to generate basically properties. Clients. Social media help us to of course, and to reach out to people that this time we are back in the business, we are helping. Do you know someone? Yes, of course, I have this. I have a company. I reach out to our HR, so maybe we can help them to also find someone. So it started, of course, we had a bit of base that we could start off.
Yeah.
But the challenges were there still. We were just only me and the guy that he started, who never worked in real estate, just making phone calls every day, and then visualizing how we're going to create advertisements, how we're going to make, where do we want to take the company. So, and time was passing. So 6 months, 1 year. 1 year later, in the beginning, actually, I had a point where when you asked me about fear and doubt, this person that I worked with, he actually, I had a occasion, he took all the money of the company and he disappeared. This person, the one that I was working together with. So that was a time when I said, what am I going to do right now? I was in the crisis time. And am I going to give up now here and then go and do something else, or I'm just going to continue? So that was the time when I said, I have to keep moving forward. And I put together a training plan. I started to meet other people.
Yeah.
And I met 4 people who were interested to start in real estate. So that was, I said, okay, I'm going to put together a training plan right now to structure how I want them to become, and how I want them to become to reach their success, or what are the tools that I can give them for them to accomplish the targets that they want to have. And that was the first. So then overcoming that issue again, that was a very, very, very painful thing. Thankfully, after we managed also to sort it out. So there was a lot of situation happened to me that I never experienced in my life before, and I didn't know how to handle it. But eventually just taking a bit of calm and not acting from anger and from stress. Always take my time off and then come back and then replan again and keep doing it. So what was your question? Because then
no, it was like how you grew, but that was leading on to, because I was going to say at this point of you growing, did you have like any challenges and how did you overcome them? But you've already kind of explained that. So on to the next question. So I've got there's a lot of people out there, and this is a 2-part question actually. There's a lot of people out there that want to start their own business, first of all, but they have so much fear, so much self-doubt. You know, they've got family at home, they've got bills to pay, you know, there's all of these things. And, you know, some people are too scared to go and take that leap and start their own business. So if you could give any advice to people that want to start their own business, what would it be?
If they want to start their own business, of course, I mean, like depends what stage people are when they want to do a new business. Is it something because they have a product or a service that they can already offer, so they already know who are the customers? I would definitely, if somebody wants to open and do their own business, I would ask myself questions. Do I have the product that can change people's life or can help them? There is a demand for my service, for my product? Yeah. So to find out that basically what you need as to start a business, and what do you need for that? Do you need money? You can start any business basically without money, because you just have to just put the effort into it, planning it, and if you would start, how would you start? I think as a planning in the beginning to mind map that how the business would look like is important, because that brings a lot of questions and answers, and that maybe you can ask for advice to see that, listen, how can I solve this? So then people are going to come around you that you can ask on. For example, do I need an office? Maybe you don't need an office in the beginning. Maybe you can be doing a service outside, or the product. Do you have the product already, or you just building the product? Do you need money to be able to do it? Depends on the business, of course. If you're talking about real estate.
What about, I was going to say the second part to the question, what if someone wanted to do exactly what it is that you do and have a business in real estate? What advice would you give to them?
I think you have to have passion for people. It's very important, because every day you are dealing with people, you're going to be meeting people, you have to train people. So if you want a real estate business, you want to open a real estate, need network, connections, passion towards helping people to grow, because this company wouldn't be here if it's not because of the team that I work with together. So me, myself, I'm a limitation in many ways, unless I have people that actually we can work together as and holding each other's hands through the difficult time, whether it was COVID time or any other crisis or difficulties. Some months are good, some months are bad. Real estate is not something that you can expect every month the same result, because it's very unknown. So starting is definitely as a real estate agent. If you want your real estate business to start, be a people person, go out, have a network.
And would you tell people, that to face their fears, but obviously expect that, there is a lot of work involved. Wasn't doing like normal 9 to 5 hours. You were putting in the hours, as you said before.
Exactly. I mean, like, real estate is a numbers game. Sales is a numbers game. If you're making phone calls, for example, to owners, don't count how many times you get a no. Count how many times you get a yes, because that will count eventually. And the doubt will come, the fear will come, the unknown is there. But then at the end, we grow the most in the unknown. And of course, it's not something that not everybody can. It's not for everyone, real estate. You have to be strong mentally and have to have goals and driven to accomplish. You have to be fully committed. It's very important that it's not enough to be interested, but you have to be fully committed to it. Yeah. Like your life depends on it, because eventually we always create a minimum standard for our living. Whatever happens, you're always going to make sure that your rent is going to be paid, that your food is going to be, that you're going to have food on the table. Yeah. Sometimes you're going to have a caviar, sometimes you're going to have a slice of bread, but you always have a food. So there's a survival mode will turn on automatically when you go into this new career where you don't know the outcome yet, but you're just putting the effort into new experience that you're going to have something down. So have a good mentor. There's somebody that you can follow, because that's very important. That who are you following? Who are the people that working with you? Are you being elevated or are you being pulled down? Yeah. Because you need to surround yourself. If you want to be a lion, you have to surround yourself with a lion. That's why we have also our logo as well as a lion, because you want to.
I love it.
Yes. That's what you want to get mindset. So, and what else I would say, there's no 9 to 5. So sometimes you're going to be on a public holiday. Sometimes it's going to be a Sunday evening at 8 o'clock. Sometimes people, they're going to call you and they don't show up. So you have to take this, and you have to be there, and you have to be ready. And you have to provide a service to the clients. It's important that when you do real estate, it's not only a one-time service, it's a lifetime service. You offer something that's for a long time. They're gonna come back to you. They're always gonna be there. And if you rent a home, they want a home. The kids want to buy the first home. The uncle want to move to a new place. You can provide always a lifetime service. So always make sure that the relationship that someone builds with the clients, the customer, whether it's the owner or a client, is genuine, transparent, is honest. If you don't know, don't say that you know. If you don't know, come back, check. I will check and I will come back. Better to be transparent. People they care more. The clients as well, sometimes they care more. Because some people, they start day one in the real estate, never have experience, and you get a client, and then you feel that you're not confident because I never done this before. What is going to happen? What people they care also is that what is important for the clients is how much you care for what they want, not only about the experience. It counts, of course, but eventually when you start day one, you don't have the experience. It's about how much you care, and you really want to make sure that you find, and that's service, I think. The customer focused mindset.
That's brilliant. Look, that is amazing advice. And we've run out of time. Like, I could continue this conversation. I can't believe we've run out of time. But look, I have no doubt that you will be coming back and we'll be interviewing again. But look, the information that you've given us so far has been incredible. Thank you for being so vulnerable and honest as well, and giving genuine advice. That's what we want on this podcast. So thank you so much. You have been amazing. And thank you.
Thank you for the opportunity. I really enjoy speaking with you, Stacey. And I'm looking forward for another show as well.
Yes.
And And it's been a pleasure meeting you. Thank you.
Angie, thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.